Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Welcome Grove Homestead. Kids and I, well, Nathan for now, the other two will join us. We're heading out to do our morning chores, which getting a little bit of a late start on, but that's all right because it's not that late. Nathan has got, what do you got, Nathan?
2 bottles for Belle and Ginny.
Bottles for Belle and Ginny, our little bottle baby calves. They're doing great. Ginny is fully settled in. I mean, she'll run up to anybody now looking for her bottle. And Belle is warming up. She's doing great. I haven't quite gotten to a point where I can put a brush on her yet, but I think today might be the day.
For Ginny, since she's the second smallest cow, I feed her through the fence because if any of the other cows try and get the milk, then they'd probably win without sticking their heads to the barbed wire fence like Ginny can do.
So the kids struggle a little bit with the other calves getting in the way. And here's an example of why Nathan feeds on the other side of the fence. Hello. Obviously they want more, but you have to be very careful about how much milk you give them. Because if you go ahead and just drink them to their heart's content, they're going to give themselves diarrhea. Audrey is braving the goat gauntlet to get the pig food. All right, Mimi, you got this. That actually was not bad. There you go. Hey there, kid.
Hi.
What are you doing?
Feeding the boys.
Feeding the boys. The boys what?
Granny.
I mean, the boy what's?
Goats.
Boy goats.
There's some tomato.
Hey, Big John. So Nathan, is this annoying having a camera follow you while you try to do your chores?
Eh.
You wanna let me in?
Sure.
So, Big John just doesn't go in the lockup with the little goats just because he's so big.
He takes up 1/8 of the pen.
Yeah, the pen is just a little small to have such a big goat mixed in with all those little guys. So he does fine. He just hangs out near them.
And makes himself a giant.
Makes himself as tall as Nathan. Right. Go ahead, Nathan.
Oh, will you go out this time? Just not even having.
What a good boy, Teddy.
See? That's what he did. Yesterday.
John. Look what you've done to my minerals. What do you have to say for yourself, sir? So rude. So the deal with the minerals is that I brought those from California because you can't, it's pretty hard to source them here. Those are Sweet Licks loose mineral. And granted, I haven't done a whole lot of searching on foot yet, but looking online through their different retailers and their suppliers and things like that, you just can't find it. So I brought it with me because it's a really decent loose mineral. And John likes to scrape it out of the feeder for some reason. So I'm gonna have to get my PVC feeders back up and running.
The tiny goats?
To see if we can mitigate him pawing it out of the feeder, because it's a waste, and I don't want to waste my very precious minerals. Now, some people had commented on this vine. I mean, there's another one over here, but the vine that was growing up here, people were cautioning me, saying that it was poison ivy, but Audrey's touching it. I'm pretty confident it's not poison ivy because I touched it. I actually have a plant ID app and I looked at it and it's called Virginia creeper, which it is related to poison ivy, but it does not have the same issues with the oils causing skin irritation. So it's totally safe. I actually pulled all of it down off of here by hand. The goats ate it, they loved it. But not poison ivy. We'll still have to keep an eye out for it because we know it grows around here. But that particular plant, I believe, according to my plant ID app, is Virginia creeper.
Can you see?
Oh boy, Teddy's so excited.
So poison ivy has leaves of 3, leaves of 3, leaves of 5, let them thrive.
Leaves of 5? Did you make that up?
Yeah.
Leaves of 5, let them thrive?
No, come at it! I think Big John's scared me one. Gideon wants it.
The little boys eating their grain. These two here, super helpful, Teddy. Frankie and Pippin are not going to be staying with us much longer. So while it's a little crowded around the feeder, it's not. It doesn't make sense to get another one just yet because they're not with us much longer. And then it'll just be the two, and they'll definitely fit to share a feeder. Hey, Big John. But look at that. Those boys finished their grain? Hey, babies. Oh, goodness.
Hi.
All the love. When goats are copper deficient, they will get what's called fishtail. And the hair on their tail will kind of make a V shape, and it looks like a fish's tail. But it just so happens that Java's tail has brown hair in the middle and white on the sides. So at a glance, it sometimes looks like he has fishtail, but he doesn't. He's totally minerally balanced right now. He just happens to have fishtail shaped white hair. Go get it.
Can I run next?
Get in, sim.
Okay. Never mind.
You have to take the board with him. Oh, Gideon. Good morning, Buns. How are you?
How are you?
These mamas are due in a couple of days. So we've got their nest boxes in there so they can start nesting at their leisure. We should be seeing babies here. They're due day after tomorrow, so we'll see. Now all the Dolings are in lockup. They don't like it. So this is serving two purposes. The little Dolings are in here to wean, which our little wild, unhandleable, untouchable Dolings, they've gotten over that, which is so fantastic.
And over what?
They used to be so skittish and wouldn't let us touch them. They would run. And now look at them. They're at the gate wanting pets, which Molly has been coming around for a while. But Arwen now is like actually seeking human attention, which is like, I did not expect that from her. So I'm really, really excited that we might end up having some friendly does after all. They're probably never going to be quite the same level as their moms, but that's pretty awesome.
Molly wants attention too.
Now the big girls, they are plenty old enough to be weaned, so we're weaning them. But they're also in lockup because we have to treat their feet. Now the reason their feet have to be treated is that they actually developed foot rot. My guess is that they arrived with it. Foot rot is caused by moisture being trapped in the foot, around the foot. Basically, you trim their hooves to prevent moisture from like staying in there, but they do generally need to be kept in dry conditions. Now, prior to picking them up, Jess had said that they had had a vet out to address the goat feet in general, because they moved away from rocky soil where they never had to trim feet because the goats just kind of kept their feet trimmed themselves. And then they moved to South Carolina where their pastures were actually a much softer soil. And they just weren't like aware that that was becoming a problem because it had never been a problem in the past. But when they discovered that it was a problem, they called the vet. The vet came out and I think trimmed the doe's hooves and said, okay, everybody's all clear. But my guess is that because these Dolings are generally not super tame, that the vet didn't bother trying to handle them. And because they're so young, the vet may have assumed that they wouldn't have an issue. Because I noticed one of them, actually, Audrey, we've named these Dolings and we haven't told anybody yet.
Oh.
Alright, so the blonde one over here, that's Maggie's.
Chloe.
That's Chloe.
Middle one is Emma, and the dark one is Margot?
Margot.
Margot.
So we have Chloe, Emma, and Margot. But anyway, I had noticed Chloe over here limping on one of her back legs. It took some effort, and we caught her and we flipped her over, and I looked at her feet and they were in pretty rough shape. So she had spongy flesh in between the toes, she had sores, and it wasn't smelling good, so it was like, okay, it's foot rot. So that day I gave her a preliminary foot trim, but I didn't have any treatment at the time. So it was like, well, this is what I can do tonight. And the next day I went out and got an antifungal treatment for their feet, and just decided that it would be easier to put them in the dog kennel and treat them there rather than having to chase them and stress them and catch them every day. And honestly, they're not dumb. Like, they actively will avoid a funnel type situation. So it just was going to be easier for us to contain them while they're being treated. I haven't yet treated them this morning, so we'll see how much they've improved. It's going to be day 4 of treatment, and I've already seen a marked improvement in their feet. Now, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to do much filming. I can't really show you inside their feet because they are so crazy wild. I'm afraid my camera's going to get damaged. Yeah, they all 3 had some very overgrown feet. They actually are going to need another follow-up trim after the swelling goes down. I just wanted to give them like some sort of a preliminary trim to start correcting those malformed feet. And as the swelling is going down, basically the weight distribution on the feet is shifting a little bit. So as that swelling goes down, I'm going to correct their feet so that when they're standing, it's standing correctly. And if they step in anything damp, then it's going to drain that moisture out properly and dry and not get infected again. And this is something that I absolutely do not blame Jess and Maya for. This is, I mean, they're very, very busy people right now. They've got a whole lot going on with their homestead. They called the vet, and the vet came out and gave them an all clear. So this, I believe, is actually more negligence on the part of the vet, who just didn't actually examine the 3 Dolings rather than just making assumptions. This is a very good example of how important it is to maintain monitoring on your own animals, because sometimes vets don't know absolutely everything, and the only one who's going to know your animals is going to be you, and you're going to know when something is not normal. And so our new practice is going to be to give them regular trims, which they're not going to like, and we're just going to get these girls all fixed up, and they're going to feel a lot better. And this one, I give David full credit for the idea of having a dump bucket. So we had a particularly rough evening milking Nestle. She was not appreciative of my efforts, and she knocked over the pail, and I ended up wearing about a gallon of milk. And so David had the idea of, hey, why don't you have a bucket that you can dump your milking bucket into as you go, so that if somebody spills the milk, it's not all of the milk. And it was like, you are a genius, man. So now we have a dump bucket. And Clover is quickly proving herself to be one of my favorites to milk. Even though she's got this lopsided udder, she behaves pretty well. She's a good girl. She greets me at the gate every day. I'm gonna let her finish her grain. Well, that's definitely a chore, catching and treating those 3 little goats, but they are doing much better. They're improving. Their feet look a lot better, and on 2 of them today, I did their corrective foot trims, so they should be feeling a lot better. So Chloe and Emma got their corrective trims, while Margot is still waiting to get her final trim, but I've been waiting for the swelling in her foot to go down a little bit more, and my hand kind of gave out, so I'll have to do hers probably tomorrow. But I'm really pleased with their progress, and I think they're going to make a full recovery. Hey everybody, it is actually the next evening, but we wanted to give you a quick little peek here of David mowing. I know, more mowing, but he is cutting, mowing, what have you. It's a mower, so I think it counts as mowing. Anyway, sorry about the rough footage, guys. It's pretty rough terrain here. But anyway, David is cutting the back, like farthest back portion of our property that is actually on my parents' half, and it is an area that my dad has dubbed the meadow. It's not really a meadow. It's actually a very, very big hill. So David's out there riding the hill right now. I wanted to show you guys. I think we're getting closer. Goodness, this field is so big. I'm trying to find him. Well, I was gonna show you, David. Oh my gosh. I've been hiking up this trail thinking I was gonna catch up to him, and then, because it's like the sound of the tractor was getting louder. Now I can barely hear it because he just must have pulled away. The search continues. Hey, check this out. As I'm hunting for my husband, I did find something else. Blackberries. There's a bunch of them. Sweet. Oh my goodness, it just keeps on going. Definitely have to remember this spot. Well, I can hear David coming back around. But anyway, that's really exciting about those blackberries. There's like quite a few of these little clusters of bushes that we can just come out and pick when they get ripe. That's exciting. This whole area around here where I'm standing, this big hill behind me, has pretty much been inaccessible since we moved here, just because it's been so overgrown. So now that David is getting it all mowed down, we can actually get back here and the kids can start exploring it. Hey, we found you. Tracked you down.
Oh, were you searching all over this
Oh my
amazing
gosh.
huge field?
Like the sound got louder as I was getting closer. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna catch up. And then you just gone. Like sound disappeared.
It's a huge field with hills and little valleys. It's pretty awesome. Kind of scary actually to be on the hills, like the slopes. Fortunately, I have a real heavy, I don't know what it's called, fulcrum of some kind that keeps me from feeling like I'm gonna tip too much. But I wanted to show you what the drum mower looks like underneath. I had hit a log that had fallen, so I was checking my blades. Let's see, inside this there are 2 drums and they spin. And these blades are so simple to replace. There's a tool that's attached up there, you just stick it in there, pop up, these blades come out. It takes about 30 seconds to replace them. So 3 blades on each one of these. They're reversible, so if one of them dulls, you can put it on the other side and you're good to go. In this case, it looks like all 6 blades are still intact and I'm in good shape. So I'm gonna continue on my mowing way. I'm pretty thrilled with this thing. It just cuts through as fast as you can drive. As long as you can stay in this seat, they say, and like legit, I've hit some bumps going too fast and flew up and hit my head on the roof and went, so slow her down then. Oh, anyway, I'm excited. Lots to do. Catch you on the other side.
I showed David my little find.
Dude, look at that berry.
Ooh, look at that.
Would you like it?
Oh, thank
Here,
you.
yeah, everyone gonna watch you eat it and enjoy it.
Gee, thanks.
Still tart?
It's very tart.
It's a great face.
Wow.
All right, back to mowing.
Well, he's gonna get back to mowing. I gotta hike all the way back up to the house to get dinner going. Actually, Audrey and Nathan have volunteered to make us dinner tonight, but I do have to track down a recipe for them to follow. So, as always, this is your not urban, country nerd with a goat herd saying that you can grow where you're planted.